The Topsy Turvy NASCAR career of Joe Ruttman. Joe Ruttman is a former NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Craftsman Truck Series, and ARCA Series driver who competed from 1963 through 2007. He was born October 28, 1944, in Upland, California. Ruttman has seen time at all ends of the garage area throughout his NASCAR career, making his Grand National Series, now NASCAR Cup Series, debut at Riverside in 1963, behind the wheel of Carl Dane's number 98 Mercury, starting 30th and finishing 10th, 9 laps off the pace. A decent run for a driver's debut race, for sure. The following season, in 1964, Joe Ruttman returned to Riverside once again, behind the wheel of a number 1 W Mercury, owned by his brother Troy Ruttman. Starting 32nd, and after blowing his engine on lap 46, Joe finished 34th. From 1965 through 1976, he ran local tracks, including 2 victories at Toledo Speedway in late models in 1969 and 1973. By the 1977 NASCAR Cup Series season, Ruttman had returned, qualifying 33rd for the fall race at Ontario, driving a number 25 Ford for Robert Switzer. Ruttman again would finish in the top third of the field in a race car that didn't necessarily belong there. Even though Ruttman had shown that he had the talent behind the wheel of a race car, he still was not able to land a solid ride in the Cup Series. So he ended up making the move to USAC in 1978, winning the Series Rookie of the Year honors in 78, and becoming the Series champion in 1980. Also in 1980, Ruttman made a one-off ARCA start in a number 70 Pontiac at Michigan, where he started first, led 88 out of 100 laps, on his way to finishing first. Then, just in time for the final NASCAR Cup Series race of the 1980 season, he qualified 40th at Ontario, behind the wheel of J.D. Stacy's number 5, the 5 Racers Oldsmobile, though a transmission failure ended his race after just 29 laps. After almost 2 decades of trying to break into the NASCAR Cup Series on a regular basis, first driving a part-time schedule in the number 6, the 5 Racers Buick, for 6 starts for owner J.D. Stacy, and his best finish in the number 6 was 7th at Charlotte in the spring. Then, following J.D. Stacy buying the Rod Ostlund number 2 race team with Dale Earnhardt as the driver at the summer race in Daytona, and Earnhardt's immediate falling out with Stacy, by race 21 at Michigan, Ruttman took over the number 2 J.D. Stacy Buick for the rest of the 1981 season. At race 22 in Bristol, Dale Inman became Ruttman's crew chief. Joe's best start in that number 2 was 5th, 3 times, at Michigan, Dover, and North Wilkesboro in the fall. His best finish in that number 2 was 2nd at Riverside, also in the fall. Overall, in 17 Cup Series starts, Ruttman scored 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s, finishing 28th in final Cup Series point standings. Joe also made 2 ARCA starts, one in the cell phone number 5 at Daytona, starting 6th, leading 9 laps and finishing 2nd. Then one in a cell phone number 59 at Talladega, starting 3rd, also leading 5 laps, and then finishing 2nd. For the 1982 NASCAR Cup Series season, Ruttman returned to the J.D. Stacy number 2 Buick for the first 5 races of the season. His best start was 2nd, twice, at Bristol and Rockingham in the spring. His best finish was 3rd at Daytona in the spring. Stacy made the decision to release Ruttman after a short string of races where finishes continued to decline. After only missing one event, race 6 at Darlington, Ruttman was picked up by Raymock Enterprises number 75 Buicks and Pontiacs race team for all but one of the remaining races of the 1982 NASCAR Cup Series season. His best start was 2nd at Richmond in the fall, and his best finish was 4th twice at Nashville in the summer and Charlotte in the fall. The final race of the 1982 season came at Riverside. Ruttman made a one-off start for Rainier Racing's number 28 Pontiac, starting 3rd, and following a transmission failure, he finished 40th. Overall, in 29 starts, he scored 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s, finishing 14th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. That same season, in 1982, Joe Ruttman made his Busch Series, now Xfinity Series, debut at Dover in the spring, behind the wheel of Butch Mock's number 75 Pontiac, starting 4th and finishing first in his series debut. A couple races later at Charlotte, he would qualify 5th, though he would DNF after only 25 laps, finishing 32nd. Back at the beginning of the 1982 season, prior to being released from the J.D. Stacy race team, Ruttman made an ARCA start at Daytona in the spring, behind the wheel of a number 9 J.D. Stacy Oldsmobile, starting second, leading 51 laps en route to victory. The 1983 NASCAR Cup Series season saw Joe Ruttman once again move to another race team, though this time he would at least remain with that same team for almost 2 full seasons. Starting with the beginning of the 1983 Cup Series season, Ruttman was behind the wheel of the number 98 Levi Garrett Buicks, Chevrolets, and Pontiacs, owned by Ron Benfield. Buddy Parrott served as his crew chief for the 83 season. This was by far the best season of Ruttman's NASCAR career thus far, spending all but 5 weeks of the season inside the top 10 in point standings, even leading for 1 week early in the season. His best start was first, twice, at Dover in the spring and Bristol in the fall. The pole at Dover was his first career Cup Series pole. His best finish was third at Dover in the spring. Ruttman and the team started strong, but the second half of the season would only see them score 2 top 10 finishes and rack up 8 DNF finishes, dropping him out of the top 10 in points by the conclusion of the season. Overall, in 30 starts, he scored 2 poles, 0 wins, 4 top 5s, and 10 top 10s, finishing 12th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Joe made another 2 Xfinity Series starts in a number 82 and number 98, both sponsored by Levi Garrett. His best start was second at Daytona in the spring in the number 82. His best finish was 7th at Charlotte in the spring in the number 98. In 1984, Ruttman indeed returned to the Ron Benfield number 98 Levi Garrett Chevrolet, making the first 25 starts of the NASCAR Cup Series season. A very young Kenny Wallace served as Ruttman's crew chief while he drove the number 98 in 1984. They had some solid runs, but ran into so many mechanical issues, and with Wallace being a rookie crew chief, there was just some things that slipped through the cracks. Ruttman spent the majority of the season in the top 15 in point standings. His best start in the number 98 was first at Martinsville in the spring. His best finish in the number 98 was 6th, also at Martinsville in the spring. After 7 DNFs in the last 8 races, Benfield released Ruttman following the fall Martinsville race. The next week, Ruttman made a one-off start in Phil Bartdall's number 38 Chevrolet at Charlotte, starting 27th, and following a suspension issue, he finished 40th. The final 3 starts he made in 1984 was for a newly formed Morgan McClure Motorsports number 4 Chevrolet team. His best start was 16th, and his best finish was 10th, both coming at Riverside in the fall. Overall, in 29 Cup Series starts, he scored 1 pole, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 8 top 10s, finishing 18th in final Cup Series point standings. In the Xfinity Series, Ruttman made a one-off start for Ed Whitaker's number 98 Oldsmobile at Charlotte in the spring, starting 8th, though after a blown engine on lap 16, he finished 39th. After joining the team near the end of the previous season, in 1985, Ruttman returned to the Morgan McClure Motorsports number 4 Folgers Coffee Chevrolet, running a little over half the schedule. Tony Glover served as his crew chief for the 85 season. It was really a tale of 2 kinds of a season for Ruttman. Either the team would DNF, or they finished in the top 13. Considering this is only the 3rd season the team was in existence, the fact they would score some quality finishes was honestly pretty excellent. His best start was 4th at Darlington in the fall, and his best finish was 5th at Charlotte in the fall. Overall, in 16 starts, Ruttman scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s, finishing 30th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. In the Xfinity Series, Joe made 8 starts, behind the wheel of Ed Whitaker's number 7 Folgers Coffee Oldsmobile. His best start was 2nd twice, at both Darlington races. His best finish was 2nd at Rockingham in the spring. Overall, in 8 starts, he scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, finishing 34th in final Xfinity Series point standings. Ruttman returned to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time in 1986, behind the wheel of the number 26 Quaker State Buick for Penny Bernstein's King Racing. Larry McReynolds served as his crew chief in 1986. 86 was all in all a solid season for Ruttman, spending almost the entire season in the top 15 in point standings. The only thing that really was holding them back was a high amount of DNFs in the first several races, 4 out of the first 6. In the old point system, that would really hurt your spot in the series championship point standings. Created by Bob Latford, the Latford system paid a driver and team for being the most consistent. Ruttman's best start was third at Richmond in the fall, and his best finish was second twice at Richmond and Martinsville in the spring. Overall, in 29 starts, Ruttman scored 5 top 5s and 14 top 10s, finishing 15th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. At the conclusion of the season, Ruttman and King Racing parted ways. Things really slowed down for Ruttman for the majority of the 1987 NASCAR Cup Series season, only making a one-off start in Ralph Ball's number 99 Chevrolet at Talladega in the spring, where he started 23rd but finished 36th after a transmission failure took him out of the race on lap 27, leaving him to finish 36th. Ruttman would help an injured Richard Petty at Pocono and Riverside in the spring, before Raymock Enterprises and himself would reunite to make the final 3 starts of the 87 season. Behind the wheel of number 75 Valvoline Pontiac, Ruttman's best start was 13th at Rockingham in the fall, and his best finish was 7th at Riverside in the fall. Overall, in 4 starts, he scored 2 top 10s. As had become a common theme in Ruttman's career, in 1988 he joined another new team, Bob Clark's number 31 Slender U-Figure Salons Oldsmobile, making select starts in the NASCAR Cup Series. His best start was 13th at Daytona in the summer. His best finish was 9th at Watkins Glen in the summer. Following the race at Watkins Glen, Ruttman and Clark parted ways. A little bit later in the 88 season, he made 2 starts in Phil Barkdall's number 73 Chevrolet and Ford. His best start was 26th twice at Charlotte and Phoenix in the fall. His best finish was 35th at Charlotte in the fall. Then he also made a one-off start for Tom Winkle's number 97 Buick at Rockingham in the fall, starting 26th and finishing 38th. Overall, in 12 starts, Ruttman scored 1 top 10 finish. Ruttman's struggles continued in 1989 to find a solid ride in Indy Series, making starts for 5 different NASCAR Cup Series teams in 1989. The first start he made was behind the wheel of Chuck Welling's number 45 Schaefer Machinists Union Pontiac at Daytona in the spring, starting 17th and finishing a solid 13th. He wouldn't make another start until race 12 in Sonoma, when the Baker Schiff Racing number 88 Crisco Pontiac race team gave Ruttman a car good enough to qualify 12th and finish 6th. The third start for a third different team, when he qualified Douglas Smith's number 62 Baja Boots Oldsmobile 26th, finished 34th, after his engine failed on lap 60 at Pocono. The following week, he was behind the wheel of Lake Speed's number 83 Bullseye Barbecue Oldsmobile for 3 starts, when Speed was injured in an accident with Greg Satz at Pocono the previous week. Ruttman's best start in the number 83 was 23rd twice at Talladega in Michigan in the summer, and his best finish was 21st at Michigan in the summer. Next, he returned to Douglas Smith's number 62 team, making 2 more starts. His best start was 32nd at Darlington in the fall, and his best finish was 27th at Rockingham in the fall. Ruttman concluded his Cup Series season at Phoenix in the fall, behind the wheel of Mark Rena's number 40 Dinner Bell Foods Chevrolet, starting 39th and finishing 20th. Overall, in 9 starts, he scored 1 top 10 finish. As a new decade dawned on the sport in 1990, Joe Ruttman only made 1 start in the NASCAR Cup Series and the Daytona 500, behind the wheel of a number 32 Pontiac owned by Chuck Wellings. They started 27th and finished 26th. That following season, in 1991, Ruttman was able to return to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time, reuniting with Raymock Enterprises once again. Bob Rahilly served as his crew chief for the 91 season. They had a pretty solid season, very few DNFs, and spent the vast majority of the season in the top 20 in points. His best start was 10th at North Wilkesboro in the spring, and his best finish was 3rd at Daytona in the spring. Overall, he scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s, finishing 20th in final Cup Series point standings. Ruttman also made a Winston West start at Massa Martin, behind the wheel of a number 40 Chevrolet owned by Mark Reno. He started 4th and finished 5th. At the conclusion of the season, Ruttman and Raymock parted ways for the 3rd and final time. For the 1992 and 93 season, Ruttman made 6 NASCAR Cup Series starts in Dick Moroso's number 20 Oldsmobiles and Fords. Mark Reno served as his crew chief during this time. His best start was 6th and his best finish was 5th, both coming at Talladega in the spring of 1993. Overall, in 6 starts, he scored 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. Also in 93, Ruttman made 3 Xfinity Series starts in Dick Moroso's number 20 Chevrolet. His best start was 9th at Daytona in the spring, and his best finish was 13th at Charlotte in the spring. At the conclusion of the 1993 season, Moroso and Ruttman parted ways. The 1994 NASCAR Cup Series season only consisted of 2 NASCAR Cup Series starts for 2 different teams for Ruttman. One for Harry Melling's number 9 Ford at Daytona in the spring, starting 34th and finishing 18th. Then much later in the year at Charlotte in the fall for Stan Hoover's number 80 Ford, starting 30th and finishing 23rd. Ruttman also made a one-off start in the Slim Jim All-Pro Series in a number 9 Chevrolet, finishing 26th. Also making a one-off start in the ARCA Series in the Rollo Brothers number 39 Chevrolet at Dayquoin, starting 10th and finishing 21st after he blew his engine on lap 64. He made his final Cup Series start that he would make for almost a decade in 1995 at Daytona in the spring, behind the wheel of Stan Hoover's number 80 Ford, starting 27th and finishing 19th. Also in 1995, NASCAR formed the Super Truck Series, now the Craftsman Truck Series. Ruttman would finally find a home and become one of the series' top stars. That first season, he was behind the wheel of a number 84 Ford for Irvin Simo Racing. Ruttman was in the fight with Mike Skinner for the inaugural series championship. His best start was first at Flemington in the late summer, and his best finish was first twice at Bristol in the spring and Martinsville in the summer. His best finish was first twice at Bristol in the spring and Martinsville in the summer. Overall, in 20 Craftsman Truck Series starts, he scored 1 pole, 2 wins, 10 top 5s, and 18 top 10s, finishing second in final Craftsman Truck Series point standings. Ruttman made 6 ARCA starts in the Raola Brothers number 39 Chevrolet. His best start was first twice at Flat Rock and Dayquoin. His best finish was first at Flat Rock. Overall, in 6 starts, he scored 2 poles, 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 3 top 10s. Even with all the success, Ruttman and Irvin Simo Racing parted ways at the conclusion of the 1995 season. With the new series, it meant opportunities would come open as the series grew, and that's exactly what happened for Joe Ruttman in 1996. Roush Racing was expanding into the Craftsman Truck Series on a full-time basis, having tried on a part-time basis in 95 with Todd Bodine behind the wheel. Ruttman was behind the wheel of a number 80 Ford for both 1996 and 1997 for the team, and both seasons were strong, 97 more so than 96. Randy Goss served as his crew chief for both seasons. His best start was first twice at Homestead in the spring and Topeka in the summer of 1997, and his best finish was first 5 times at Walt Disney World Speedway in the spring, Topeka in the summer, then Sonoma, Phoenix, and Las Vegas in the fall of 1997. Overall, between the 2 seasons, Ruttman scored 2 poles, 5 wins, 19 top 5s, 31 top 10s, the best points finish, 3rd, in 1997. Joe Ruttman remained with Roush Racing for the 1998 Craftsman Truck Series season. Though starting at race 2, he would switch to a number 99 Exide Batteries Ford, just like Jeff Burton in the NASCAR Cup Series. Matt Chambers became Ruttman's crew chief for the 1998 season. Again, he would have a solid, consistent season, spending the majority of the season in 3rd position in points. His best start was first twice at Evergreen in the spring and Richmond in the fall. His best finish was first at Watkins Glen in the spring. Overall, in 27 starts, he scored 2 poles, 1 win, 14 top 5s, and 19 top 10s, finishing 3rd in final Craftsman Truck Series point standings. Even with all the success, Ruttman and Roush Racing parted ways at the conclusion of the season. The 1999 Craftsman Truck Series season began without Ruttman nailing down a full-time ride, having 3 one-off starts, 1 each with Jim Smith's number 12 Ford, Duke Thorson's number 8 Chevrolet, and Richie Waters' number 15 Ford, the best of which was the number 15 at Martinsville in the spring, starting 18th and finishing 13th. Though starting at race 10 in Texas, he began driving the number 18 Dana Corporation Dodge full-time for Bobby Hamilton Racing. Eddie Jones served as the crew chief for the rest of the 1999 season. His best start was second at IRP in the late summer. His best finish was second at California in the fall. Overall, in 19 starts, he scored 3 top 5s and 9 top 10s, finishing 21st in final Craftsman Truck Series point standings. As the sport entered a brand new century, the year 2000, Joe Ruttman reprised his role as driver of Bobby Hamilton's number 18 Dana Corporation Dodge full-time. They had another solid season. His best start was first 8 times, at Daytona, Homestead, Phoenix, and Evergreen in the spring, Loudon and Nazareth in the summer, then IRP and Cicero in the fall. His best finish was first 3 times, at Phoenix in the spring, then IRP and Cicero in the fall. Overall, in 24 starts, he scored 8 poles, 3 wins, 10 top 5s, and 11 top 10s, finishing 6th in final Craftsman Truck Series point standings. In 2001, Ruttman returned to the Bobby Hamilton Racing number 18 Dana Corporation Dodge for the final season. He fought for the series title, actually leading the point standings 4 weeks throughout the season. His best start was first 4 times, at Daytona and Martinsville in the spring, then IRP and Cicero in the summer. His best finish was first twice, at Daytona and Pikes Peak in the spring. Overall, in 24 starts, he scored 4 poles, 2 wins, 10 top 5s, and 20 top 10s, finishing 3rd in final Craftsman Truck Series point standings. Ruttman also made his return to the Xfinity Series in 2001, making 3 starts in James Finch's number 1 Yellow Freight Chevrolet. His best start was 7th at Milwaukee in the summer, and his best finish was 21st at Pikes Peak in the fall. For the 2002 NASCAR season, Ruttman made 4 Craftsman Truck Series starts for 4 different teams. His best start was 13th in Nashville in the late summer, driving a number 45 for Petty Enterprises. His best finish was 4th at Daytona in the spring, driving a number 79 for Rodney Smith. Also making a one-off Xfinity Series start for James Finch's number 51 Pontiac, starting 21st and finishing 36th following a lap 14 accident at Talladega. By 2004, Ruttman returned to the NASCAR Cup Series to make the final starts of his career. He made 7 starting parks in James Finch's number 09 Miccosukee Indian Lottery Dodge. Ruttman made his final Xfinity Series start of his career in 2005 at Talladega in the spring behind the wheel of the Sadler Brothers number 95 Dodge, starting 13th, and after an overheating issue ended his race on lap 87, he finished 24th. In 2007, he made the final 4 Craftsman Truck Series starts of his career for Bobby Hamilton Racing. His best start was 27th, and his best finish was 25th, both coming at Kansas in the spring, behind the wheel of a number 4 Dodge. So, in 225 NASCAR Cup Series starts, Ruttman scored 3 poles, 0 wins, 19 top 5s, and 60 top 10s, with the best points finish of 12th in 1983. In 21 Xfinity Series starts, he scored 0 poles, 1 win, 2 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. In 172 Craftsman Truck Series starts, he scored 17 poles, 13 wins, 68 top 5s, and 111 top 10s, with the best points finish of 2nd in 1995. In 13 ARCA Series starts, he scored 3 poles, 3 wins, 7 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.